Hi, I'm Angel with FleeceFun.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful magic carpet costume. You can make it in child sizes and adult, and yes, there is a no-sew option for it, but this is actually one of those rare cases where I think the no-sew version is more work than the sew version. We'll get into that in a little bit, but first you will need the following. 1/3 of a yard of blue felt, 2/3 of a yard of yellow felt, 1/3 of a yard of red felt, 1 to 2 yards of royal blue or purple fleece, and this is depending of course on who you're making it for, 1 1/2 inch bead or felt ball, fabric glue, glue gun and glue sticks, measuring tape, ruler, rotary cutter, ruler and mat, Fleece Fun's free PDF pattern or SVG available on fleecefun.com, sewing machine, and 3 to 4 yards of yellow ribbon. Now keep in mind the amounts that I'm listing for the pattern on the costume is just for one side. So if you want the pattern on both sides of your costume, you're going to need to double those materials. And also you'll be doubling your work, just so you know. I opted just to do one side and I thought it looked great, but totally up to you. Step 1, cut out all the pieces for the costume. Now one option I will tell you about is that you can use heat transfer vinyl instead of felt pieces and iron it on to your costume. However, I will tell you that heat transfer vinyl can get expensive, and these are bigger pieces. So unless you got a screaming deal on heat transfer vinyl, if you're trying to pay attention to your budget with your costume, I would stick with the felt. A huge portion of the time spent on this costume is cutting out the elements. This is one of the main reasons why I recommend using the Cricut Maker to cut out all those fiddly bits. Now wait, before you freak out, the Cricut Maker is optional. You can absolutely cut all these things out by hand. I have a PDF file for you, so don't worry, you got options here. If you choose to cut it out by hand, you will need to assemble the PDF pattern and cut out the following. Cut 4 of the lion heads in yellow. Continue to cut 4 of the swirls in blue. Cut 4 swords and 8 hilt pieces in yellow. Cut 4 hearts in yellow, then 4 mouths, 8 eyes, and 4 heart drops. And last, 2 fire sections. Note, for the adult size, it's 2 pieces that you will need to kind of piece together if you're using the SVG file for the Cricut Maker. To measure for the size of the costume, measure the arm width of the person you're making it for, so spread the arms wide, fingertip to fingertip. Then measure from the collarbone to the ankle for the length. Cut 2 pieces of fleece that height and width, 1 for the front and 1 for the back. If you are making the no-sew tie version, you'll need to add 12 inches to the width of the fleece and 6 inches to the height to have room for those ties. All right, now that you have all those items cut out, it's time to lay out your pattern onto your material. And first, I need to just congratulate those of you who cut that out by hand. I think you are an amazing person. I hope the person who you are making this costume for appreciates that hard work. Massage your hand a little bit and let's move on. Step 2, begin to assemble the pieces to the front of the magic carpet. First, we need to glue on the layered elements of Aladdin's magic carpet. I prefer to use fabric glue for the felt pieces as it dries clear and looks less lumpy than the glue gun, but hot glue will also work. Glue on the eyes and the mouth to the lion head. Repeat 3 times. Next, glue on the drop on each center of the yellow hearts. Set those items aside. Step 3, make Aladdin's magic carpet front. Find the center of the fleece front. Then mark it with a long X and Y axis lines for reference points. Be sure to have a pattern guide handy to refer to. Now I do have the pattern for you to refer to. Just refer to it and lay it out as best you can. It's not going to be perfect. It's okay. You won't be able to tell when they're wearing it because the person's shape is not going to be, they're not a perfect square, so it's not going to be perfect. So just do the best you can, forgive yourself if it's just a little imperfect, and move on. Start with the center and work your way out. Don't glue it down until you have all the pieces laid out. Adjust the items if you need to, then glue it down. And this is one of those things with movie magic, it looks like it took me no time at all, but this actually took a little bit of time, so be patient, take time, glue it down, make it look nice. Now add the ribbon as a border and glue it down. I opted to use hot glue for this section because it seemed a little faster and easier. As a finishing touch, give it a quick swipe with a lint roller to keep the area tidy looking and dab away the reference lines. Now after shopping, I thought, oh, I'll just, buy tassels and put it on. The tassels that I could find, they didn't look right with the costume. They didn't have the right cartoony look that I wanted to kind of go with the rest of it. So I actually found that making my own tassels was better, and honestly, it was cheaper too. So let's see how to do that. Step 4, DIY the tassels for the magic carpet. We need to make 2 tassels for the upper part of the costume because making 4 for each one, they're just going to drag on the ground and it's not worth it. So just 2 is all you need. From the yellow felt, cut out several strips that are 1/2 inch wide. Cut the strips so they are 1/2 inch wide by at least 12 inches long. Take the felt ball or bead and cover it in the strips. Once it's covered and you're happy with the look, take a strip of felt and tie it at the bottom just below the ball. Adjust the tassel and trim the ends to even it up. To add a strip to the top to hang it by, simply take a strip of felt and loop it under a couple of the top strips on the top of the ball. And that's it, set it aside. Okay, now it's time to bring the costume together. And like I mentioned earlier, this is one of those instances where sewing saves you so much time. It is a lot faster and easier, and they're straight seams. So even if you're not like a sewing guru or you've only sewn a little bit, I promise you they're just straight seams. You can do it, okay? It'll save you a lot of time. Or yes, absolutely, it's just like a tie blanket, but with spots for your head and arms, really, is all it is. So let's look at that. Bring the DIY magic carpet costume together. For the sew version, which is the version I prefer because it is a lot faster, place the backside of the carpet costume onto the decorated front so the right sides are touching. Place the tassels in the top 2 corners so they get sewn into place. And then all you're going to do is sew all the way around using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, leaving an opening for the arms, the feet, and of course the head. Since it's fleece, don't worry about finishing the raw edges and turn it right side out and then it's pretty much done. But if you are opting for the no-sew version, it's very simple. All you'll do is you will place the front and back on top of each other, wrong sides touching, okay? So you have the nice sides facing out. Cut the strips to be about 1 inch wide to 5 to 6 inches long and tie together as you would a fleece blanket. Be sure, again, to leave gaps for the head, arms, and feet. And tie the tassels into the upper corners, and that's it. You have this really cute magic carpet costume. It comes together very quickly once you have all your elements cut out. It's just a really cute little costume, and one of those things, it's a classic costume that you can use year after year. Like, pull out the magic carpet costume, we'll just throw that on and keep going. If you like this project, I have several more costume patterns on fleecefun.com that I think you'll enjoy. All my patterns and tutorials are free. I even have an Aladdin vest. It's modeled after the one in the live action movie. Super cute, comes in sizes child to adult. Everyone can be Aladdin too. And it's just a really cute thing to accompany this costume. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome videos just like this one. And let me know in the comments below, if you could take your magic carpet anywhere, where would it be? I want to know, where would you go? I think Paris. No, maybe not Paris. I do like Paris, but getting there over the ocean might be kind of uncomfortable on a magic carpet unless there's some sort of like magical force field I don't know, do you wonder things like that? Like, are you freezing when you ride on a magic carpet, or is it a magic carpet and so you don't freeze? I don't know, I wonder things like this. Let me know in the comments below.